What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, as always, Nicholas and Xavier. Guys, today we're going to be breaking down all of the new fights that have been announced. Some from last week, some have just been announced today. And basically, I'm going to go through the fights, and me and the boys, we're going to rank our excitement level. We'll do 1 through 10. Let's just start with the most recent news because I feel like it's the most relevant. As we all know, Dan Hooker was forced out of the fight with a hand injury, the co-main event against Justin Gaethje. He really sucks. We were all looking forward to that fight. Everyone was. But Fiziev steps in for the rematch to get his revenge, maybe. But like, yeah, that's the fight. I believe it's official from the UFC. They had their fight in London. It was a banger. What do you guys thoughts as Fiziev being the replacement here?
I fucking love this fight, to be honest. Very unfortunate that my man Dan Hooker, man, rest up. I know he probably wanted this fight. I know he probably wouldn't have pulled out if it wasn't bad. So I'm glad he's actually like not fighting instead of getting in there compromised and getting his ass beat and then like talking about after the fight, like, oh, I had a hand injury, that's why type shit. Like I think that these fighters need to kind of stop doing that. So like I'm kind of on team like pull out if the injury's too bad. If it's like if you can get through it, that's fine. But like if it's gonna like clearly compromise you, you cannot go into a fight with Gaethje with a broken hand. So um rest up. This is unfortunate that we didn't get to see this. I thought that Hooker had a pretty good chance of winning this fight just because of like the momentum that he's been riding recently. So it's unfortunate, but hey, Fazeev is a great fucking replacement. A lot of people threw out Gamrot, but I'm like, would that have even been as exciting of a fight? No, this fight was like all action. People want to see these guys throw down, slug it out. Like, and Fazeev's gonna bring like a similar kind of fight. I feel like way more than like Dariush would have or like um damn near anybody else, man. Especially Gamrot, Dariush. Like, no, like Fazeev is all violence. Gaethje's all violence, and it's gonna be all violence, man. And then Fiziev having a chance to avenge a loss, maybe catching Gaethje at a slightly more vulnerable time. I don't know, like it's intriguing though, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I mean it's just a better fight. Uh Biziev is just an exciting fighter anytime he fights. Throws lots of volume, quick, a lot of body kicks, head kicks. Can really do it all on the feet. And also like, let's be real, Hooker was losing that fight. I don't care that this man pulled out. He was gonna lose that fight. I was not a believer of this comeback story whatsoever. And Gamrot, that boring man, he stinks. So I'm happy neither of them got the shot. Zeke coming off injury. Um, it'll be good, man. The first time was really close. I could see. I could have seen it going either way. They gave it to Gaethje, but in the moment, I probably gave it to Viziev, I think. So I think it could be a very close fight again. I think you should expect full violence, full just like, yeah, just violence, man. So it should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a 3 round fight, so it's not going to be 5 rounds. Really quickly, like a perfect
That's
example.
better for Fiziev, bro. That's better for Fiziev. Like in the first fight, he kind of gassed, and like
Mhm.
Gaethje's experience took over down the stretch. But
Yeah.
3 rounds of like fast twitch action, like man, I have to kind of slightly favor Fiziev right now. Like especially because it's 3 rounds. If it was five again, I might favor Gaethje again, just because I don't think that Fiziev's style is kind of like built for 5 rounds as much. But like,
Fiziev throws with a lot of power. He's very twitchy and explosive.
exactly.
And yeah, coming off, he had a serious left knee injury against Gamrot. He last fight was in September of 2023. Um, but Gaethje's still in this, man. It's the odds are really close. So do you guys think this is a harder fight than Hooker would have been for Gaethje right now?
I don't
I
know
think
about that. I didn't say all that. Clark said that.
Okay. What do you think?
I like Hooker's chances in that fight just because not like I like them like I favor him necessarily, but I'm just saying he's been streaking and like they both have a style that like it's kind of a coin flip fight to me.
Okay. What do you
I
think,
could
Nick?
see that. I could see that. My issue is this man has split decisioned his way here to this run. So that's all I'm saying. But what was the question, Ed?
Who do you
What,
think's a harder fight for Gaethje at the end of the day?
Viziev. I just think he's more talented and just the more exciting fighter. So like I get like matchup wise, Gaethje's not gonna be wrestling Hooker, so he doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I just think at the feet on the feet he's outmatched. I think he's always been outmatched. He's looked more impressive recently, barely against Gamrot, who can strike at all, and he got it. The Jalen Turner one, I liked that. I liked
That was
that.
great.
He has grit, man. He's found his grit, bro. He got tatted up. He found some grit.
He has good grit. I'll give him that. But that's it. That's it. It's just a little grit. That's it. But no, Vizier's the harder matchup, like 100%. Just overall skill.
Okay. Now, okay, so Gaethje's coming off a really bad knockout, like he was knocked out cold. Fiziev coming off a really bad knee injury. How much do you think those injuries are like? How much do you think that is going to play into this fight at all? Like, if at all?
I
Either
would
one.
I would say like the fact that they're both kind of dealing with something kind of like I don't want to say cancels it out because like if Gaethje's chin is not the same, I don't think that that's like as like that's kind of worse than like Fiziev being like a slight step slower because his leg is because of a leg injury. I think that the thing with I think like if anything like Fiziev would be like more noticeable if he's not the same, like if he's not as twitchy. Um, but if Gaethje gets clipped very easy for a punch that like we kind of would expect him to take in the past, then we kind of know like hindsight, like the Volk situation, Volk Islam, it's kind of like damn, like I mean Volk Taporia, where it's like okay, we see that like maybe a different Volk could have ate this punch, and like his chin is clearly still compromised. So I feel like we won't know if Gaethje's cooked until like it's too late, if that comes to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think more for Gaethje, honestly. The fact he got slept out cold. Viziv's coming off a pretty bad injury. What was it? Torn ACL.
Something like that. Something with his left knee.
Uh, um, but I mean, that's just simple recovery time. He's gonna come back fresh, wanting to fight. And Gaethje's coming off a TKO loss. That's his last fight, right? Still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely would affect Gaethje more just from the chin perspective, but I don't think they play a huge factor overall. I think both guys will come out, kind of do their thing.
Okay. All right. So, guys, we're also going to do an early prediction. You can change this. This is not official, but give me your early prediction and what a win means for the winner.
Fuck, man. I kind of hate this fight in that like I don't want to see either of them lose really. Um, it's kind of like whoever loses, I feel like their career's kind of on a spiral in a way. And but for the winner, I think Fiziev has more to gain just because he has never, got to the top of the division, never been in a title fight type shit yet. So in a division that's like starved for like new contenders, if Fiziev looks impressive, like um, you know, I think that like that's better for his career trajectory overall. But I think that Gaethje might also like get a title shot with a win just because like again, he's never fought Islam at least since,
True.
if Poirier can get one more crack at Islam, then like why can't he with a win? So
And the UFC just kind of likes Gaethje. You can tell he's just one of their boys.
absolutely. I mean, he's been putting on fucking bangers like since he got in the UFC and like win or loss, like the UFC loves an entertaining fighter. Like The entertaining fighters always get love from Dana just because like there's so many fighters that play it safe and like, don't produce exciting fights. So like when the UFC has like someone they can count on for consistent violence and a consistent like main event spot or co-main event spot, like they have to treat them well.
for sure. But what was your official prediction? Or not official, just pre early prediction, subject to change.
Subject to change, but I'm gonna say Fiziev wins a competitive decision. 29-28. Maybe
Hmm.
wins 2 rounds and then Gaethje wins the last round and puts Fiziev in trouble but doesn't finish him type shit.
Hmm.
What about you, Nicholas?
I would. It's weird because I bet on Gaethje last time and I won that. But I honestly, I'd probably go with Zeev slightly, very slightly. Uh, I just think he'll be faster. I mean, unless, like I said, if the injury shows and he's just a little slower, maybe it's a closer fight. But I still think skill wise, he can beat Gaethje.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with both of you. I'm gonna take Fiziev by decision. I don't think the leg injury is gonna be that big of an issue. He's had plenty of time to recover, and Gaethje is coming off that nasty KO. But let's move on, guys. Oh, what's your excitement level? 1 through 10 for this one.
Yeah. Um,
I would give it about a 8.5, 9. Like I'm
Yeah,
I'm pretty I'm pretty hyped for this.
I was gonna say like 7.
I'll say like 7.5. Yeah, around there. But another fight that I'm pretty sure was announced today, the main event of UFC Kansas City, Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill in a 5 round fight. This fight was scheduled, I forgot for what pay-per-view, but yeah, this fight, I feel like everyone knew it was going to be made. This is a really good fight. Hill coming back kind of soon. What are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm pretty
This is a
hyped for
fun
this
one.
fight. Um, I think that Jamal Hill has a lot to lose in this fight. I think that Khalil Roundtree with a win could like I think he has a slightly easier path back to a title fight again, considering one how good he did against Pereira. Um, Two, how like that fight was like short notice. So like and he did good on short notice. So it's like you have to assume that like with a training camp, in theory, he can do a little better. Especially like the fact that Yuri just beat Jamal Hill and like you know how Alex has done Yuri, so it's kind of like you can't really give Jamal Hill a title fight ahead of Yuri, but you can't really give Yuri another title shot soon either because he just got slept like multiple times. So it's kind of a weird place. I think that Roundtree has a lot to gain with a win. He'll kind of solidify himself as like that top five guy. Um, but Jamal Hill has a lot to lose, man. You cannot be losing to like Khalil Roundtree. Not to like disrespect him or anything. I'm just saying like if he loses to Roundtree, he's on a 3 fight skid after just becoming, especially since the Achilles tear we have to start to wonder like, is he the same at a certain point or another?
For sure.
Yeah, I love this fight. I'm pretty excited for it. I think this is a good opportunity for Jamal Hill to step back in, kind of do his thing. I think it's a step down in competition, even though Roundtree I think is pretty good overall. Um, I think they'll just be throwing hands. That's why I love this fight. I expect full violence, 5 rounds. I think they're gonna get. I do not see this going decision. By the way,
No way.
I think one of them is getting slept. So I just love it for that factor. Jamal Hill, has been talking all this shit low key. He just needs to like I don't know, man, like do some yoga or like goat yoga or something, man. Meditation. Like he needs to stop like getting all the news in his head. I feel like he thinks too much about that crap and like tries to like just like go on rants for no reason on Insta or whatever. And but like I think he's very talented. I think he can definitely win this fight. I believe he's the taller fighter. So
Definitely.
yeah,
Has
should
to
have
be.
a reach advantage. Um I will say Roundtree could be the quicker fighter in this fight, so it definitely makes it interesting. It's 5 rounds. I do feel like over the course of the fight, I would favor Jamal Hill, but he hasn't looked as great lately. We gotta question the chin a little bit. So definitely a lot of questions coming into this fight, I would say for both. Roundtree has way more to gain. Like he could easily get back to a title shot for all the reasons X talked about. Um, and Jamal Hill really could be on the verge of just total collapse after being the champion. Just 3 straight losses, you lose to Roundtree. Where do you go from there after being at the top? So it's definitely tough. It's almost feeling like a Luke Rockhold moment. And I don't want to say that, but it's very similar. Like, you know, but hopefully that doesn't happen to Jamal Hill. I like him. I think he's a good fighter. So
I'm a big fan of Jamal Hill, man. It's like I fuck with Roundtree too. It's just like I have to support Jamal Hill, man, in this fight, just because like what it would mean if he loses would be more devastating. Also, like even though Khalil Roundtree technically got finished in round 4 against Pereira, like he didn't get like put out cold the same way. It was more like an accumulation breakdown. And Pereira just kind of broke him down, whereas like this is like twice now of Jamal Hill getting like knocked out, or like dropped, like pretty bad.
And he's
So
facing another striker. It's
exactly.
tough. All
And
the
then
signs.
Roundtree's gonna chop the legs too, and like Jamal Hill clearly struggles with that. So I'm like really kind of worried for Jamal Hill here, but I think he can get it done.
Yeah, this is a scenario. I'll make the pick here. I'm going to take Jamal Hill, but this is the last straw type of thing. Like it's do or die. Like you said, where does he go from here? He's going to be so far away from a title shot, and beating a guy like Roundtree, the win would be bigger for Roundtree, but people love Roundtree. He had that crazy fight with Pereira. I think Jamal Hill. I think he's just gonna. I don't think he's gonna get tired. I think he's just gonna smother him, similarly to how Alex did, but win like a decision. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Roundtree the way Alex did, but I'm gonna take Jamal Hill here. Early prediction by decision.
I will say if Jamal Hill does not address the leg kicks, he might be in for a bad night, even if he gets the win, just because like I will say like the way he kind of stands and his boxing style, like he kind of neglects a lot of leg kicks, and like that shit definitely Roundtree's gonna be on those legs, like you know what I mean. It's a clear like defensive deficiency that Jamal Hill kind of has, and I think that like Roundtree with his Muay Thai style will be, especially with like the being at a reach disadvantage. He's not gonna beat Jamal Hill straight boxing, so I can see him like trying to use kicks and like chop the legs a little bit. And like if Jamal Hill gets real stiff and he's kind of gimping around and shit, like I could see him having some problems here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Jamal Hill, even though like I'm feeling like a couple of like writings on the wall kind of vibes. I'm getting like an eerie feeling about this one, to be honest. But I gotta ride with my boy Jamal Hill one more time, like you said. Because if he's like anywhere near the best version of himself, he should beat Killer Roundtree. So
I don't. I'm not picking either. Under 4.5, man. This ain't going decision. Someone going to sleep. That's my prediction.
You gotta pick someone, Nick.
no, you got to yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
go some pick.
Hey, we can change it later, but
We
right
can
now
change
we
it.
have to.
Jamal Hill, he's gonna lose though. I just know it.
It just feels like the wrong pick, but we have to because we all love him.
Yeah,
What are the odds, man? What are the odds?
Uh,
we're not out yet.
I doubt they're out.
Okay, but fuck, like I want
I
to see
bet Roundtree would be a favorite slightly,
that is crazy.
just because like the public perception right now.
I know, that's crazy. But Jamal Hill at a dog, I'd have to take him. I'd have to take him.
Yeah, and he did lose to Pereira and Yuri. Like he's losing the monsters, and
Exactly,
he looked decent in the Yuri fight.
exactly. It's just the fact that like Roundtree literally just looked better than him against Pereira. So like
That's yeah,
that's the thing. Like if that's the measuring stick, Roundtree looks better than everybody else against Pereira so far. Not named Izzy, so I don't
facts.
know.
And Jan Blachowicz.
And yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
ADP would win, but
Oh. All right, guys, let's move on to the next fight. This fight is kind of like they had to redo the matchmaking in this one. We got Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. It was originally JDM, but this is the new fight, new main event. Sean Brady coming in, and it's not terrible. It is short notice for sure, about a month's notice. I think I'm in the minority here. I like the change of opponents for Leon. I know Sean Brady is a wrestler, and you're going to think, oh, look what Bilal did to Edwards. But I just think Bilal, Colby, and Usman are all much better wrestlers than Sean Brady is. And I think JDM had a legit chance to TKO Edwards on the feet. And I think Edwards is going to be able to handle Brady a lot easier than JDM. Is that a hot take?
I don't think it's a hot take. Um, I think it's a much more winnable fight, just because, like you said, a dominant wrestler is nothing that Leon's not experienced before. Um, Whereas like we have seen him get clipped a few times, like even by Diaz. Like if Diaz can clip him on the feet, so can JDM. Um, I think that at least now the game plan is a lot more straightforward. Whereas like in a striking versus striker matchup, the game plan is like a little more complex. Now the game plan is pretty straightforward. Keep it on the feet. You should have a pretty decent striking advantage over Brady. So even though he's no slouch up there, like he's not terrible, but like compared to who Leon's been training for, like he's definitely a lot worse of a striker. So I think that the game plan just got a lot more simple for Leon. It's a much more winnable fight. I agree with you.
um, I'm not gonna lie. I don't I don't think it is. The only reason I say that is based on what happened in the last fight. I think Sean Brady's gonna come in with a similar game plan as Bilal did. And all I need to see is old Leon moving on the outside, doing his thing. But if he's gonna come in doing this covering up bullshit every time he gets pressed, because it happened, I forgot about this. This was happening in the Usman fights. Like the same kind of like covering up when he was getting pressed. I just don't. Sean Brady is the favorite, by the way, going into this.
That's fucking insane.
But I understand why. I think stylistically, it is a tougher fight for Leon, even though JDM miles better on the feet than Sean Brady is. I still think Brady has the same sort of style as Bilal, you know, and somehow Bilal has became champion using that style. So, I think he could beat Leon doing the same thing they did in the title fight. Um, I don't think Brady is as good of a wrestler though. So
Exactly.
I do think Leon can probably do better. My thing is just don't cover up and stay in the corner. Move on the outside, lateral movement, just do your thing. That's all he's got to do for me. If he does that, I think he wins the fight. I
Yeah.
think he's a better fighter than Sean Brady, but Sean to me has a better style than JDM to beat Leon specifically.
I'm not gonna lie, hot take, man. This man Leon might be on Jamal Hill watch as well, man. I'm not gonna lie because, like, I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of following a similar trajectory, right? Where it's like you lost to Bilal, which like no one thought that that was gonna happen. I don't think that the most of the MMA media or fans thought that that was gonna happen. But okay, that's fine. Now you're gonna lose to like a worse version of Bilal. You know what I mean? It's kind of like okay, like after dealing with like a prime Usman, like you have to remember like. He's felt prime Usman back when like Usman was actually like using his dominant wrestling. You know what I mean? Over the time, like the Usman knees not what they used to be. Like he has well documented knee issues. He adopted a much more like striking heavy style, but like the OG Usman man, like he was ragdolling Leon, and Leon was holding his own like defensively. So I'm just thinking like where did that defense go? You know what I mean? You should be improving. He's not like to the age that he should be like dropping off this much. I have to assume that something was off in the Bilal fight, but like if he loses in the same manner, I have to assume that he's just on a skid. Like he's not the same anymore. And like I hate to admit that. So I need him to like come through here as well.
No, I agree. Leon, it's just against Bilal. Yeah, it was a terrible loss. I think a lot of people rate Bilal a lot higher than they did pre that fight when he got the belt. To be fair, and yeah, it's Leon's first loss, and I don't even know how many years since the first Usman loss. So I'm gonna give him some grace here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just not that impressed with Sean Brady. Like you said, Clark, the style gives Leon issues, but I don't. I just because it's Sean Brady. Like, well, he won a unanimous decision against an old Gilbert Burns. He subbed up fat Calvin Gastelum, and he got KO'd on the feet by Bilal Muhammad. I think Leon, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick by decision. But come on, man, you're at home. This would be a disastrous loss. I think he can hunt down a TKO here, like in the fourth or fifth round. I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna say Leon by decision. It's at home. He this is a must win.
Yeah, it's definitely a must win, man. Because yeah, like you said, like Sean Brady, like you said, even though Bilal like people rate him higher than we did prior, but like Bilal's also been like mowing through the division in his own way, like not dominantly, but like
Yeah,
with his style. You know what I mean? He's been Bilaling everyone, and like it's not really as surprising that he beat Leon in hindsight as it is how non-competitive the fight was, even on the feet. Like I think that Leon just looked like absolute shit. Like it was the worst I've ever seen him look. So like that's more what I'm worried about. Like not the fact that he lost to Bilal. It's just the fact that like he objectively did not look the same. So I'm hoping that that was like a one-off weight cut, injury maybe, like whatever the case may be, and not like a sign of like what the rest of his career is gonna look like. Because we've seen it with Kobe. Sometimes like these guys, bro, they just show up one day and then the next day they're just not there. The next fight
yeah,
they
that is just
and I would really
facts.
hope that like, Leon's not next because he's still like not as old. Isn't he like 33, 34? Like he's not that
Yeah,
old,
he
right?
is. Yeah, he doesn't take much damage either. So
Exactly. So like what's like come on now.
I would favor Leon, especially at plus money. Um,
Is he at plus money?
yeah, right now, I mean, it's like 3 weeks away, so it probably will change. But
hey, we like his luck.
I might have to get in early, I'm not gonna lie, because fuck.
but I'd favor Leon. I just also feel like just back to the JDM thing. I think there was a clear path for Leon to win that fight. Take JDM down, hold him there, you beat him, and that's why spoil. I think Bilal's gonna beat him. Uh, but I think in this fight it's definitely tougher for Leon. But I think he should be able to do better as long as he just doesn't do the same thing as last time. Literally just get your head out of your ass, low key, and that's about it. Like as long as he shows up and is Leon Edwards, he should win this fight, I believe.
Talk to him, Clark. Talk to him.
And that's it.
He has all the talent. Just gotta unleash the dog in him. But yeah, excitement level. I was more excited for the JDM fight. All bias aside, I give it like a 8. I love a good London main event too. I love the crowd there.
I'm gonna give it an 8-5 just because like the excitement of like I have to know like what is the state of Leon Edwards really? More so than the matchup itself, I just want to see like objectively like what Leon looks like, you know? Just because like if he looks like shit, like that's notable to me. Or
Yeah,
if he's back, like damn, like he can make another run, I feel like, but like I don't know.
Yeah,
Not playing in his last fight.
I'd say 7.5. I don't think we did the last one either. The Hill one. I just real quick, I'd give that a 9.
it's a banger. I'd probably give it a 8 also.
I'd give that an 8.5 just because I kind of don't want to see both people get their ass beat. So I'm gonna be kind of going for like a one of those like 60-40 Jamal Hills where like Roundtree kind of looks good. And I think I get more hyped when I'm like firmly in someone's corner. Like that's what makes like a fight a 10 to me, you know what I mean? Or like a you know what I mean? Like I just think that like when I'm clearly cheering for someone, that kind of puts it over the top for me in terms of excitement.
For sure.
Are there any more?
Alrighty. Yeah, we have a 1 second. All right, though, let's go to UFC. I think it's what is it?
14.
314. We got Lopez versus Volk for the undisputed 145-pound belt.
Uh,
Um, this is
Man
crazy.
down under.
Yeah, this is
Come on, man. Fuck you, mean. Shout out my boy Glenn, man. Holding down the Aussies, man. Aussie. Oi, 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 man. You know what the fuck going on, man. It's Volk's time to reclaim the throne. If not now, then never. He has a surging prospect in Diego Lopez, but I will say I think that Volk kind of holds like a lot of technical advantages over Lopez.
oh, for sure.
And if he doesn't get clipped in the first like 2 rounds, I could see him kind of taking over and beating the shit out of Lopez down the stretch. Just exploding like once I'm probably I don't know what the Lopez gas tank looks like over 5 rounds, but I've seen Volk push a very hard five that even had Islam gasping for air. So I mean, I have to imagine that he holds the cardio advantage if this thing goes like late. Because I mean, he's kind of up there with damn near the fucking Marab cardio to me. Like, not as relentless. He has a more methodical pace to him, but like still pretty damn aggressive. Like for sure, and like pretty consistent over 5 rounds. So. Yeah, I think that this might be Volk's like last for hurrah, and I'm going for the old man to lock it down one more time.
Yeah, I'm very pumped for this fight. Lopez is on Team Clark coming into this fight, so a lot of pressure on him in his debut. But I'll be honest, if Lopez can kind of do what he did against Ortega, I think he has a very good chance in this fight. He was very calm in the fight with Ortega. He became more of a counter striker as the fight went along. But I do agree in the sense Volk has more technical skill. I think he's the better looking fighter. Definitely more skills overall as of right now, but Lopez got those hands, man. He's got that pop. And we've seen in the last few fights, Volk Shin is not doing so hot. And if anybody gonna knock this man out right now, and I even said Lopez has the best chance to beat Taporia right now. Taporia should have stayed and fought his
I
ass.
agree. At 145, yeah.
Just and that would have been it. Like he could have just won that fight and gone up. Because who even know who he's gonna get at this point? Because he'll lose to Oliveira if they pair him with him. But anyways, Lopez definitely. I feel like he's gonna probably have to knock Volk out. I don't see him winning a decision. Um, but I do feel like it could be a very close fight if he just stays calm at times, not overextend, just kind of use his size to his advantage and just pick him from the outside a little bit. and then land the very hard shots that I think could put Volk away, to be honest. So I honestly, I'm going with my boy because he's on Team Clark, of course. I think Diego Lopez probably gets the finish somewhere in like round two, but would not be shocked at all if Volk wins a decision here.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
I think Prime Volk would style on Lopez is just kind of this just the style, and I think Volk has really good offensive wrestling, but I'm going with Lopez, man. I think Volk is out of his prime. Um, I think the stat is like at a certain weight class, no one above 35 wins the belt back. I like that Volk took a lot of time off, but I mean those last two losses were devastating. I think Lopez has shown flaws, but he is clearly improving after every single fight, in my opinion. And he is uber confident. I think he has a style to beat this version of Volk, and I think he knocks him out within like 3 rounds. It's just the new wave. It's just the new wave, passing of the torch type stuff.
I think that the UFC is kind of praying that Lopez wins this fight. I think that kind of like when Conor left the division and kind of when John Jones left the division, like you kind of when you clear out the whole division, like and then you move up, it's kind of like okay, we kind of know like the same way like we look at John Jones still currently, like he could probably beat all these guys had he just stayed down there. It's kind of the same thing like where like um Lopez was like the one guy remaining at featherweight that like we were looking at like maybe like we wanted to see how he would do against Ilya. It was like his last, like you said, like had he fought him and beat him, he would have cleaned out basically the division. But because he kind of didn't, there's always gonna be that what if. But like if Lopez beats Volk, because then we're gonna be like, damn, like if Lopez comes in starts as Volk, it's like damn, like now he's the champion. Now everyone's gonna be like kind of like respecting him as the champion, I would say, kind of. Whereas I think that if were to come back and win, we'd kind of look at Ilya as still kind of like the uncrowned champion of the division,
Yeah, it'd be
just
awkward.
because like we know like Ilya would have beat Volk. At least we think we know that. So you know what I mean? I think that like for youth's sake, for like longevity's sake, for like I think that the UFC is probably hoping that Diego Lopez can kind of make his name off Volk here, but if Volk can fucking play spoiler, I kind of trust them to like try to avoid the heavy shots, man. Just weather an early storm. I think he kind of knows he has to weather an early storm just based on how the last two fights have gone for him. He might know that the chin not exactly what it needs to be, but I think that he is the kind of fighter that like technically can make adjustments. We've seen him in a trilogy with Max Holloway, even though I think Max won the second fight, but like come out to beat the dog shit out of Max Holloway in the third fight, which who does that to Holloway? Just beats him up. Like even Ilya knocking him out wasn't like Max was like doing better in that fight than he did against Volk in the third fight. So we see that like Volk's definitely a tactician, good at making adjustments and shit. And I can just see him kind of like focusing more on being defensively sound and like because now I think he has to know that like his chin is not what it once was. You get head kicked by Islam, you're like, okay, that's a head kick. Can happen to anyone, but like you then get like starched and put to sleep cold by Ilya, it's like, okay, I have to really watch the chin. And I think a little bit of a more careful Volk um can weather the early storm and like if he can get this shit into the grappling realm, I think he could dominate Lopez surprisingly like after a couple minutes of explosivity. So I'm gonna ride with my boy Volk one more time. I'm nervous as hell picking him, but like I gotta ride with my boy one more time until the wheels fall off, man.
For excitement level, I give this like a 9.5, damn near a 10. Title fight, like young versus new. It's a Volk fight. It's gonna be a banger. Like the styles match up really well. Yeah, this is sick. I wish Ilya was in still kind of 145, like you were saying, but it's okay. This is the
I'll
next best fight.
I'll give this a nine and a half too. just because like I'm more excited to see this than I would Ilya Volk 2, just because like I don't want my boy Volk to get like chinned again. But this is a new matchup. It's fresh and it's intrigue. It has intrigue both ways, you know. Can Volk, become champ one more time? Can Diego Lopez break through against, arguably the featherweight GOAT? Like, you know what I mean? It's like both sides have a lot to gain here and a lot to lose. So it's like it's a very intriguing matchup. And stylistically, it's gonna be a banger for as long as it lasts.
Sure. Clark.
Uh, yeah, not much else. I would give it a nine, about 9.5. I think it'll be great. I got Lopez TKO. I think he catches this man, but you know, it's gonna be a good one. I'm more excited about the next one for I have very good reasons coming up for the
Okay.
next one.
All right, then let's move on to the next one. And this will be the final one of this video. We'll do a part two where we go over the rest of the fights, like the female fights that got announced, the Prates fight, the Urzeg fight, the Pantoja fight. We'll go over that one the next one. The final fight, let's see, what is it? UFC 315 in Quebec, Canada. We got Bilal, remember the name Muhammad, taking on JDM. Clark, why don't you start? You had something to say about this one. Floor is yours.
Uh, I love this fight for several reasons. One, Bilal happens to be on Team Clark. I did not really want him, but I got him in a ninth round pick. So I'm happy because I believe this is an easier matchup than my man Shavkat would have been for him. I think JDM's very crisp. He has good boxing. Doesn't kick a lot though, which I think is a problem against someone like Bilal. Um, to slow him down, he doesn't kick to the body a lot even. But JDM's a very crisp boxer, definitely talented, throws nice knees up the middle. Um, it's just every fight I watch this man in, he gets taken down by anybody and just held down there for a period of time. And I just think the way Bilal just won the last fight, I think he's rinse and repeat here. Now, I will say he's definitely more in danger of getting KO'd than against Leon. I will say that. But I think as long as he's kind of doing, as long as he's getting the takedowns, especially if he gets them early, I think he's winning this fight. But also, I'm also if Bilal gets KO'd, Bilal gets KO'd, like that's great. Like we don't want this man to be champ. Like that's okay with me. So, either way, I'm winning in this one. This is a 10 for me on excitement, let me tell you.
Okay, I'll go next. Yeah, all the signs are pointing for Bilal Muhammad to win this fight, but I'm not. I'm not picking him, man. I'm taking JDM to knock him out. I think Bilal is gonna have a lot of success in this fight with wrestling, and I don't think JDM is gonna get tired. And I think his takedown defense has to have gotten better. But this is what I think is going to happen. I think Bilal's going to have a lot of success. He's going to bank some rounds. He's going to start getting cocky on the feet. He's going to get clipped and knocked out. I think JDM is so superior to Bilal on the feet. Like with Leon, yeah, he's not the same threat JDM is with the same activity. He's knocking Bilal out and winning the belt. It just seems like destiny. Also, everyone loves JDM. Everyone hates Bilal.
No, Ed, I would love that. Like, imagine, like, he gets so cocky on the beat. He just, like, gets head kicked. It's just like,
He's gonna get boxed up, bro. He's gonna get boxed the fuck up. He's gonna try to do what he did to Leon, but JDM's gonna throw back. Come on,
I,
Xavier. You know what to pick, X.
JDM is gonna throw back. That I'm almost positive of. Unlike fucking your boy Leon, man. I hate to
But
kick him while he's
no,
down. Shit, man.
no, he deserves to get kicked down for that performance, bro. He deserves
That
it.
shit was
It's tough
horrible, bro.
love.
That shit was horrible. It is tough love. I do love all these guys. For most of them, I would say. Most of these guys, I would say I love them. No Diddy, but like, fuck. I just can't get out of my mind like how much this man is susceptible to takedowns. Um, Now there is a part of me, a very happy part of me that will be like really blue if like the one time I'm about to pick Bilal, he fucking gets starched the way I've been wanting him to for years. Like, but I'm gonna say like I'm at that point where like I said it in the last like after his last fight, like if he gets past Shavkat, I will not pick him to lose to anyone else for now. And I think that Shavkat is a much more dangerous fight for him than this one, just because Shavkat's grappling. I think that because JDM has shown a grappling deficiency, and that is literally we just seen for 5 rounds him spam takedowns against Leon, who in my mind has a much better takedown defense than JDM on paper at least. I don't know what the fuck he was doing that night, but on paper at least. So I'm gonna have to take Bilal for once in my life. I have to do
You
it.
just cursed it.
Never
I
picked.
You just cursed him.
I might have cursed him, bro. And
It's fine with me.
It's over
No.
now. It's over.
if that's what just happened, man, then it's time for him to pay the piper for all the damn slips he's cashed me over the years. But I'm gonna give him a chance to make it right for once.
He's gonna get knocked out. He's never gonna sniff another title shot because even the UFC hates him.
That is true. That
I
is
mean,
No, but excitement levels.
Habib gonna be in that corner like take him down, don't
Oh,
stand.
dude.
I swear.
You had to bring that up, bro. No, 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 no.
Khabib the X Factor, I swear. Like maybe if Bilal did not have Khabib in his corner, he might get a little cocky. Khabib's gonna be like, take him down, bro.
Dude, he got so lucky they just accept like he just joined Habib's camp out of nowhere. Like that's the only reason he is where he is because of Habib, bro. You didn't have to bring that up, man. More reason to hate Bilal. He just Khabib maxed his way. He cheated.
I'm not gonna lie though, I am kind of borderline pulling for JDM because that means that my boy Islam gonna go up and snag that hoe.
Yeah,
Snag.
that is a very favorable matchup.
Islam not losing to that man. I can tell you that he gonna weave, take down, submit that motherfucker on the ground. I believe it. Trust me. So the UFC damn near hoping that JDM gets that belt off Bilal so Islam can go up and go double champ shit. I believe that.
I guess.
Khabib would have easily. But
Oh my God. All right, though. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let us know what you guys think, your predictions and excitement levels on the fights we talked about. Like I said, we're going to talk about the rest of them in part 2. But thanks for joining us. Please check out the TikTok, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.